Today, we are going to learn how to use the jointer. The jointer is the second machine in the squaring process. The first machine you learned how to use was the radial arm saw. That machine was used to rough crosscut our wood to a rough length. The purpose of today's machine is to square one edge so that it is at a right or 90-degree angle to my faces of my board. A couple of items to know of importance regarding using the jointer: my in feed table, my out feed table, my fence, and this is the guard that covers the cutter knives. One thing that you always need to make sure that you check before using the jointer is to make sure that the fence is truly at a 90-degree or right angle to my table. You can take a tri-square, set it up against your fence, and make sure that it is at a 90-degree angle. If it is not, see your teacher to make an adjustment. The next thing is running your material. A few things to remember when running your material is your material should always be clean, free of any knots, defects, no paint, no staples, nails, or screws should be in any part of your material, or else you will damage the machine. When you go to use the jointer, first of all, there is a line in the sand that you want to think of. If my wood is taller than my fence, I can just use my hands to push it through. My fingers pushing it firmly up against the fence with my thumb on top, and my right hand flat and on the back, pushing it all the way through. I will make sure that I push my wood far enough past my cutter knives so that my guard returns to cover them, so that I am safe in my operation. Here we go. Be sure to push your wood far enough past the cutter knives so that the guard covers the knives when you have completed your pass. When you have completed your pass, make sure that you either mark an X on your good edge or put a line on your good edge to show that that is the edge that was jointed. That is the edge that will go against the fence on the table saw, which will be the next machine that we use. If you are ever jointing narrow pieces of wood, you want to make sure that you have an extra items to push it through so that you are safe and not running your fingers through. Right now, because I am shorter than my fence, it is very dangerous to have my fingers that close, or on the back. A lot of people get into a habit of putting their fingers like that to push it through. So we have these two devices, a little neoprene pad that will hold on nice and sticky, and then the back one is my push stick that I will use to push it all the way through. This way I will not get my fingers anywhere near the cutter knives. Be sure that you have pushed your wood far enough past the cutter knives so that the guard returns and covers them as you have finished your operation. One last thing to remember, other than making sure that you mark your material so you know which one is your good edge, but always make sure that while using the jointer that you take your time pushing your wood through. If you have a nice, clean, smooth edge, you have traveled at the right speed. You will know if you have gone too fast because you will notice that your wood is ripply. So always make sure that you take your time as you push your wood through the jointer. And if you follow those steps, you will be safe using the jointer too. Boom.